Hey guys, this is Spark Plus Ultra here, and this is my new What If. What if Deku had Usagi abilities, Ronin Rabbit, and I hope you like this video because I thought of this character a lot with some TMNT 2003 to 2012, but I hope you like this video. Greetings, my name is Tsuku Midori, and this world is filled with 80% of quirk users and 20% non-quirk users. I'm a quirk user, but my quirk is called Rabbit because I have the physical look and abilities of a rabbit. I'm fast as one, quick and sharp, and kinda over my head a little, but it is great to meet you. I'm from the other side of Japan. I'm one of the old school residents of this place, but I'm good-natured. But when I was with my dad, he was strict. Well, he should be because the samurai code, where he teaches us how to use any weapon, to the longbow, spear, katana, and even some unique techniques to take down. But me and my brother were a bit at a confused state when he was teaching us. Not many people need a samurai, so when my brother was going under to it today on a sword style, teaching others, I choose my own way of finding my code of what I think is true to a samurai. But my father called me a rogue, a deserter of the code, and may he think that, but I need to find my own way and help those in need. When Tsuku was basically abandoned from his father, he was also trained by a other master that showed him the way of the blade, or any type of weapon. Basically, okay, in modern times, I have to reiterate this one. This is important to all culture. Tsuku is trained under way of mentally, physically, and temporally. He is focusing it on his subconscious thoughts and mental focus and trying to make anything count. And Tsuku then trained under him over 8 years under the way of mentally fighting and focusing it on every thought that counts, and every swing, every shot, and every focus on his opponent, no matter how many there are. Then Tsuku arrives at Tokyo and wears a Ronin gear, walking around in midnight, looking around without making his appearance noticeable, and hearing a person asking for help. And Tsuku then hides on the side, seeing 2 people around the back alley, and Tsuku takes a big breath and looks at his environment, and then he says, "Alright, now time." And Tsuku throws his throwing knife at the ladder and throws another one at the trash can, and the 2 thugs were wondering what the hell was that sound. Then one of the thugs see the ladder coming down and hitting his head. Ow! Fucking shit! That hurt! And the civilian gets away, and thug says, "Hey, get back here!" and ready to fire on her and shooting at her, but she escaped from it by Tsuku grabs on her arm and gets her away from the shots. Tsuku puts on his hat and says, "Are you okay, miss?" The woman was singing him frightening, and then pushes him and says, "By help!" And Tsuku says, didn't mean to scare her. And two thugs say, "She went to the left!" And Tsuku turns around, and when the thugs get to the left, Tsuku then grabs him up by the arm, surprising him and giving him a judo throw. And then when he threw him down to the ground, he uses a rope and entangled his legs, tying them up. The thug says, "Ugh, what the? I was hit by a freaking freight train then. Hey, what the hell?" And Tsuku says, "No needing to get violence. We can settle this with no bloodshed." And the other thug with the guns or hands says, "We got a big shot over here. Sorry, pal, but this isn't your business." And when he didn't comply, Tsuku says, "Well, that's unfortunate." And Tsuku then uses his short sword, and the thug dodges the short sword. I'm guessing you're a samurai, huh?" "No, not a samurai. I am Ronin. I am Usagi Ronin." And when the thug says, "Usagi Ronin, huh? Well, that's a fancy title for your grave," firing the gun quirk out of his hands. And then Tsuki says, "You're not the only one that knows how to use a weapon." And when the bullets were flying towards him, Tsuki then pulls out a mere pistol, saying, "A samurai must advance towards the future," and fires the bullets, hitting all of the bullets that were fired at him, ricocheting off of the bullets from the thug's quirk. And the thug says, "Huh? Never thought a stereotype would be so annoying. Why don't you die already?" And throwing a flashbang at him. And Tsuku then says, Don't let your instincts control you." Tsuku then has his ears down and covering them and closing his eyes. And the thug says, "The hell?" And Tsuku slashes the flashbang, and the flashbang gets a bright light, and the second thug says, "Ow! You blind me, you asshole! Ah! I think I'm freaking dead, you dick! Well." And Tsuku says, "I'm sorry that happened. Luckily for your friend, he's not totally badly injured." "Fuck you!" And Tsuku bows down, saying, "I hope you're okay." And the thug says, "Ow!" And Tsuku throws a water bottle at the thug. And Tsuku says, "For your injuries." And Tsuku then walks into the night. And the thug that pours water on his eyes and sees his friend unconscious. And rule number 1, never mess with that guy. And cops came and see the two thugs taken down. And one of the thugs said that he was a Ronin, and his name was Usagi Ronin. And the cops posted a vigilante around in Tokyo that goes by Usagi Ronin, the Ronin Rabbit. And Tsuku was taking down thugs during night, but he helps in the morning as well, making sure to deal with trash duties and some thugs in the morning. The cops were having a hard time tracking Usagi Ronin, so they asked a hero, Eraserhead, and they asked Eraserhead to find Usagi Ronin and ask him to be cooperative and go to the cops. And then Eraserhead tries to find Tsuku in the night time, but having difficulty finding him because he also goes into the morning as well, because he keeps his facial look hidden with a hat that hides his ears as well. And when in the morning, Zawa was trying to find him, but he was going to be giving up until he sits down, and then he hears a person. Nothing like helping a person out. And when the person next to Eraserhead says something, "Hey buddy, are you okay?" And Eraserhead says, "I'm looking for a guy that a vigilantism." And Tsuku, and the guy says, "Oh, is that all? What's he looks like?" And Eraserhead says, he has a green and dark green color on his pants and shirt. And a hat that covers his ears." And the person says, I think I heard of him. Is he the Usagi Ronin? And Eraserhead says, "Yeah, I'm just looking for him. Just getting him to the police station. We won't have any problem. Just want a conversation." And the person says, I don't think he would like it. And when the Eraserhead then looks at him, and when he looks at him, "So I found you. What luck." And then Tsuku says, "Nice to meet you. I guess you found me. Usagi Ronin, at your service." And Zawa says, "So you're just a kid, huh?" "Well, 15, but that's not surprising." And Zawa says, "So you also are very talkative." And Tsuki says, "Well, I have to be trusting on everybody. I am the Usagi Ronin. I will help anybody with no problem needs. I don't need anything. I am a Ronin. I help those without anything in return." And Zawa says, "Then how did you still here?" And Tsuku then says, "Oh, I was in a cardboard box and some people gave me some food to help me when I helped them. They did it out of the goodness out of their hearts. Wow, I didn't even ask." And Zawa says, "Did they think you were a hobo?" Couple are, but I didn't even beg for those guys. No begged." And Zawa says, "So you really earned the trust of the civilians, huh?" And Tsuku says, "Yes, but they are afraid of this." And then Zawa sees the gun that Tsuku showed him. "You shot somebody, didn't you?" "Nope, I only used it for if something comes at me, like bullets, or anything that could detonate." Interesting. "But I won't hurt anybody, no matter how they look. But I will take necessary force when needed." Can you come with me to the police station?" And Tsuku then says, "No." Then Zawa says, "Why? You're very trusting. Why aren't you going to police station?" And Tsuku then says, I just don't want to on this one occasion." And Zawa says, "And I'll do it at force." And Tsuku says, "I wouldn't do that." And when Zawa and Tsuku were at a standstill, Tsuku then hears something. "Let's hold our fight for now." I need to help somebody. And Sawa says, how do you know? Because I can hear. And Sawa says, good enough. Let me help you. And Tsuku says, you really are a hero. And Sawa says, it's my job. I help those in need. And Tsuku says this, for a guy that looks intimidating, you have a soft side to you. And Sawa says, or see me through? And Tsuku said, no, just now. And Tsuku then runs to the sound, and Sawa follows him, seeing where Tsuku was running around the corners, and Sawa going top on the rooftops from the skyscrapers buildings, and Tsuku found a villain. So that's what I'm facing. And then a kid with a explosion quirk says, let me go, you damn bastard! And the sludge villain says, what a rough mouth from him. Why don't you be quiet? And then Tsuki says, let him go, now! And the sludge villain says, oh, it's the Usagi Ronin. I heard a lot about you. And then lots of people were taking pictures of the Usagi Ronin versus the sludge villain and seeing heroes. And Tsuki then realized, so heroes were here. And Tsuki then says, they don't have the means to deal with it, I heard. I must get the kid out. How? Sawa says, jeez, you really are not knowing this. And Sawa uses his scarf and pulls the kid out and throws him to the ambulance. And the kid says, huh? The hell? Let me at that damn villain! I'll make him into a sludge! And Tsuku says, stay back! I will take down this villain. I will make sure of it. And the sludge villain says, oh, this is too funny. Bring it, Pipsqueak! And Tsuku takes a stance and takes a breathing. And the sludge villain goes for an attack, and Tsuku slashes the attack. And the sludge villain says, not bad. And when the sludge villain was going to, when Tsuku cuts his sludge-like body, the sludge villain pulls Tsuku's leg and throws him to the car. Ow! And the sludge villain boasts, nice try, kid, but I'm immune to piercing, bludgeoning, and slashing. You can't cut or even damage me with that puny sword of yours. And Tsuku then breathes and thinks, first time dealing with this, how can I? And when he was crashed into a car, Tsuku then looks down. That's it! Seeing gas around the car, Link and Tsuku then put some gas on his sword. And the sludge villain says, hey! Stop ignoring me, you little pipsqueak! And taking down, destroying the car. And Tsuku dodged. And Tsuku trying to find a way to get perfect way to ignite fire from the sword with the gas. And the sludge villain says, more attacking than more running, you damn pipsqueak! Tsuku runs and sways, and then grabs his bow and uses a explosive, and then the sludge villain grabs the arrow out of the air and sees it. Is that all? And explodes at his face. Nice! Sorry, pal. You already seen I already seen that from the explosive kid. Remember? Tsuku then trying to find the perfect way to digitally take him down. There's no ignite things that could make for fire, and even the buildings can't work because they're too high. And then Zawa throws his knife at a light and shouts, "Usagi Ronin, use that now!" And Tsuki then looks at the light and says, "Thank you," and runs towards that little spark. And the sludge villain looks, "Who the hell is this guy? No matter, you're mine!" And Tsuku reaches to the spark lit, but the sludge villain comes at him and says, "Sorry, pal, but your boy is mine!" And swallows him. The sludge villain says, "No more, Usagi Ronin." Then when the sludge villain was laughing, and all of the people shocked, but something was lit under the sludge villain, and then all the people look, "Huh? What's that?" And Tsuki, then a sword comes out of the sludge villain, and fire seizes up the sludge villain. And Tsuki says, "A fire on a stick makes a great weapon to deal with an opponent." And the Tsuku gets out of the sludge villain, and the sludge villain says, How did you do that?" And Tsuku says, "I got that spark and you swallowed me whole. That was your big mistake." And the sludge villain says, "You're pissing me off! Now die!" And Tsuku then slashes the sludge villain's tentacles. "Ow! Fuck me! Give up! Now! This is over! You can't win!" The sludge villain says, "Fuck you!" and goes for another, but Tsuku cuts him off. And then Tsuku then puts the flaming sword on the sludge villain's body. "Give up! You can't win!" And the sludge villain says, "Kill me already!" And Tsuki says, "No." Tsuki says, "Eraserhead." And Eraserhead says, "On it." And erases the sludge villain's corpse. And the sludge villain says, turning back to his normal state. And Tsuku grabs his sword. Thank God, it was not close to his vital signs. And then Tsuku then puts out the fire from his sword and uses a towel to get rid of the gas on the sword. And Tsuku then silently sighs. And all the paparazzi and news reporters surround him. And Tsuku was caught off guard. "Usagi Ronin, it is an honor to meet you. You are one of the most heroic vigilantes there is. Is that a big deal?" And Tsuki then says, no. And the other news reporter says, "Usagi Ronin, is it true that you won't accept generosity?" And Tsuki says, yes. "Usagi Ronin," and Tsuki was getting overwhelmed with all of that. And then heroes were getting a little jealous of his popularity and tried to take him to police, but Zawa intervened and took him on the building. And Tsuku then says, "Thank you, Eraserhead. I needed that." And Zawa says, a little overwhelmed, I see. And Tsuku says, "Yes, I wasn't expecting that many people to surround me." And Zawa says, "It's fine. I hate dealing with that shit. So, can you cooperate with me and go to police?" I won't ask this again. And Tsuku and says, fine, I will concede. And Zawa then says, what's your real name, kid? And Tsuku says, the name's Tsuku Midori. What sent? And Zawa says, I think I got an idea. While taking him to the police station to cooperate with the police, Zawa has an idea and asks for the detectives. And the detective says, really, Zawa? You want him to go to... And Zawa says, yes, he might be the key to dealing with the USJ traitor. And Tsuku was in a soundproof place. Zawa says, I think he would be the most cooperative person you will ever meet. And the detective says, yes, his record has it said that he never betrayed or done much killing. He was more of a very kind person to everybody, including the villains themselves. One time, when he was first fighting a villain, he helped one with his eyes because of a flashbang. And Zawa says, then he will go to UA. And Tsuku then sleeps on the chair, and Zawa says, but right now, he needs discipline. And that's where I'm ending this video. I hope you like this video and hope you subscribe. See you next time.